Hello, everybody, and welcome to iReadit, bringing you your daily dose of the internet for Monday, October 9th, 2017. I am Michael Schwan.
And I'm still not loaded in the video.
No.
No.
Mine is running now.
Well, that makes one of ours.
And I see people joining the chat room, so it did actually function this time.
Right, I'll just reload it, I guess.
At least to some degree, it loaded this time, so.
Goodness. Why did I have to take my computer downstairs? It ruined everything.
You did ruin everything. How could you do such a thing?
Pretty easily.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Actually, it wasn't downstairs. It was out of my house. I went and hung out with Brendan this weekend. It was pretty fun.
Well, that's entirely different.
Yeah. Well, I mean, technically it is downstairs.
Sure. I see that you joined now, so you loaded in just fine.
Yeah, finally.
I am nice and brilliantly illuminated because I ordered a new light off of Amazon to hook onto my monitor and shine brilliant, nice, bright, beautiful white light at me.
Oh, nice. That sounds what's up.
Yeah, it is what's up, and we need to upgrade your setup like a lot. You need a new microphone, you need a new computer, you need new lights, you need a new apartment.
It happens.
Of course, I technically need a better recording area, but, you know, whatever. It's a start. It's a start. Things are going well.
Yeah.
Had a whole bunch of stuff. By the way, just a quick complaint about living in Alaska. So Amazon's always like, you know, oh, you paid for Prime, you get free 2-day shipping. Yeah, it's 2-day shipping from the day they ship it, but motherfuckers didn't ship the shit I ordered for over a week.
That's shitty.
I'm like, thanks, I guess.
Fucking week?
Yeah, it took over a week for them to ship it. And now once they shipped it, it got here in 2 days. And I'm like, that's great and all, except for the whole thing of that, like, I would have liked it, I don't know, like 5 days ago.
A week and a half ago, really.
Well, I don't want it the day. Well, I mean, if I could have it the day I ordered it. I know in some places they do have same-day delivery, which is, like, mind-blowing ridiculous.
We have that, right?
No.
No,
I don't think you could pay them enough to do same-day
Shit.
delivery.
We barely get same-day delivery for pizza.
Oh, dude. And that's from our own pizza places.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I finally got all the crap I ordered, in which case, if I understand that I'm, like, anal retentive when it comes to audio, because I hear all the things that most people are like, what? I don't hear it. And I'm like, I do. One of the things that I ordered was that part to take away the little high-pitched whine. So it should mean, because the whine is gone, it should mean that our audio is just a little bit better.
I don't know. I still hear you.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you so much.
Anytime.
So, oh, wait. Oh, God, they changed everything. I'm trying to change things on the iPad, and it's not working. So, Nathan, how have you been? How was your weekend?
My weekend was pretty good. I spent it at Brendan's. For the most part, there's really just spent a day. Otherwise, I was here with the kitty cat. Need to work on some things around the house, you know, but other than that...
Life in general, yeah?
It was really nice because I got to sit in a hot tub at, like... Shit, it was like 3 in the morning. I got to sit in the hot tub and drink gin and tonic, and I felt like a goddamn boss.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up. My weekend was quite busy. What did I even do on Friday? I don't entirely remember anymore. I think I just played a bunch of Legend of Zelda, because Breath of the Wild is really awesome.
Well spent.
Beyond that, though, Saturday I woke up early and took the kiddo to her taekwondo thing because she's in a little special program for that. And then after that, Saturday was actually me and Jennifer's 4-year anniversary, so we went and celebrated that over lunch and hanging out and stuff. And then Saturday was also our good friend Josh Swan's birthday. So
it was.
Saturday night we went over to him and his girlfriend's place and enjoyed dinner with them. And then Sunday was doing a bunch of errands in the morning and then D&D in the afternoon, in which it was our first actual session with the new group, which is Nathan Nelson, Josh, Zach, and Adam. And that went real well. It was a bunch of them's first time with 4th edition, and first time with, we switched editions and new group, but it went pretty darn smoothly.
4th. Yeah, 4th.
You all right there?
Yeah, 4th.
It went quite well. In any case, everybody, a quick little notification, I guess, announcement, whatever. Today we're only going to have 5 news topics, and that is not because it is mostly because there wasn't enough news, and the reason there's not enough news is because everyone only wanted to talk about our number 2 story today, which is the Mike Pence thing. If you haven't heard about it,
Whoa, spoilers.
If you haven't heard about it, you will soon, regarding the vice president and his attendance.
As in soon, we mean like 10 seconds before that.
What? No, what?
Well, I mean, okay, so I guess it's a little longer than 10 seconds. I don't know. I'm kind of really fucking dead tired.
That's fair.
And I ate an assload of fucking mozzarella sticks because I'm a stupid idiot.
Who's lactose intolerant and ate a pile of cheese?
Oh, God, it was deep fried cheese, but yes.
Well, it was delicious.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Another thing to be aware of is today is Monday. It is our 363rd episode. That means in 2 days, we will have 365 episodes released of this podcast, which means there will be an episode per day of the year. We didn't really do any celebration or anything for episode 350, and that's because we kind of just wanted to save it for episode 365, which is going to be in 2 days. So on Wednesday, we will have a couple things that'll a little bit special for you.
And as far as the rap is concerned, me and Mike sat down and talked, and we got it down. We want to, me and him, sit there and record ourselves doing it so that you have a frame of reference.
Oh, that's a really good idea.
Mm-hmm.
That's an excellent idea. All right, but in any case, though, let's go ahead and get started with the news that we do have. It might be a shorter show. Who knows? It really just depends on how much we decide to discuss things.
Yeah.
5.
Google uncovers Russian bot ads on YouTube, Gmail, and other platforms.
This was submitted by Finsteralin to our politics.
So Google initially was like, oh, we don't need to be too concerned about the whole Russian investigation program. I mean, it looks like all the things that they're doing is mostly ads that were placed on Facebook. But in part of that, they went ahead with an internal investigation into their own network because Google is the largest ad service in the world. YouTube is the largest video service in the world. And they're like, we got time, we got money, we'll go ahead and look into it. So they went ahead and looked into it, and they're like, oh, well, looks like there was a lot actually done on all of our platforms.
Oh, guys, you were right all along.
It doesn't look like anything was along the same type of ads that were put onto Facebook, which the majority of Facebook ads were touting Donald Trump, Bernie Sanders, and the Green Party candidate Jill Stein, as well as very divisive topics such as anti-immigrancy, racial animosity, abortion, things like that, things to try and divide the populace more, where they weren't able to be as focused in terms of on Google and YouTube because those are more like literally like corporate ads that are normally put forward onto those programs, but they're finding that there's been a very good number of them. It wasn't nearly as large because Facebook was seeing a number of ads around $100,000 that had been put into Facebook ads from Russian avenues. Google they haven't given a number, but they said it is less than that.
So it's still quite a bit, though.
Probably. And it's really hard because none of them are giving us any information in terms of, they're giving us these vague answers of, like, what the ads may or may not have had, but they're not saying anything directly or even where they came from. Huh.
So we just know them as, like, ghost ads at the moment.
At the moment, yeah.
Okay. I see.
But there's also been information released that Twitter was also affected. I mean, except the way that Twitter was affected was that instead of necessarily purchasing ads, they had a large number of false accounts that were forcing hashtags to trend, which would then divulge into conversation and back and forth between their users.
Right.
So the investigation goes on.
So it was to rile up people.
Tim in the chat room asks, has it been just Russia? Just a question. Have there been any other instances of other countries placing ads? Not that they have told us.
I feel like right now they're really just looking for Russia, though.
Well, I feel like they're just wanting to hammer down that Russian nail anyway, so...
I'll get it out of the way.
I mean, I'm sure on some level there is some level of interaction, interference between... all of, with several other countries trying to affect or influence American politics, or even vice versa, with Americans trying to influence, German politics or something like that. The difference in this particular case, though, with the Russian involvement is the scale of that. From what it appears to be is that the Russians had a very large amount of activity in trying to influence the 2016 presidential election. So anything by comparison is rather small.
Fair. I feel like we have a bunch of Americans trying to do that in other places, mostly through 4chan.
Or yeah, just social warriors in general.
Whether it be social justice warriors or
keyboard warriors or whatever.
4.
Israeli and Palestinian women march together for peace.
Hey, this was submitted by Dormus Jessup to our World News.
And it's literally a march, by the way. They are donning these brilliant white clothes and marching from their respective towns to Jerusalem. There's going to be over 5,000 women that are taking this peace march because for the last several decades, and let's face it, for the last several centuries, there has been an endless conflict in this area over the land right now that is Israel and Palestine. And it's gotten to a point now where there's not as much death. There's just a lot of senseless and needless destruction. We've talked a few times in the past about how the Israeli police would come over and just demolish Palestinian schools because they didn't have permits that they weren't able, no matter what, to get. Smashing solar panels, people giving people stuff and stuff like that, trying to help people out, and one country or the other just, pissing on it.
Fucking rude, dude.
It's really petty and ridiculous at this point, and that's what these women are wanting to try and bring attention to. That's why they're wearing white, the color of peace, and
that's why they're taking a knee.
Maybe I don't know.
It was a taking a knee joke.
Okay, sure. Does that involve peace? I don't know.
Taking a knee, the NFL protest.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were making a Game of Thrones reference.
No. I'm topical.
Are you?
Yeah, you should just apply me lightly to the skin.
It's a pun.
It's a gross pun.
3.
The Weinstein Company Board of Directors has announced that Harvey Weinstein is terminated effective immediately.
Damn! This was submitted by spoonfedsam to our news.
Harvey Weinstein, who
That is Weinstein.
Whatever, Weinstein, whatever, don't matter. Dude's a bad person. In any case, so Harvey Weinstein is officially forced out of his own company.
Yeah, it happens. It happened in the fuck's it called? It happened in a lot of movies.
The fuck's it's called company. Either way, in this particular case, it is involving sexual harassment, or as their lawyers, or as his lawyer and public spokesperson, or put it, is what is it? Professional misconduct, workplace misconduct is how they're referring to.
Workplace misconduct.
Yeah, workplace misconduct, also known as sexual harassment. Harvey Weinstein is one of the co-founders and had been the leader of Weinstein Company. They're one of the largest Hollywood producers that exists. A good amount of stuff that comes out of Hollywood has Weinstein's, whatever, their name on it. They were involved in some way. He is this massive movie mogul, and at this point, I mean, he's still going to be, rich and famous and whatever. But in any case, he will not have any involvement with his company or the production of anything in Hollywood at this juncture unless someone else picks him up. And this is in light of a bunch of information coming out of a bunch of women coming forward and being like, yo, this dude's a bad person. And they're like, oh, look at all that evidence you have. This dude's a bad person, GTFO.
How many people came forth?
It doesn't give me a number.
Oh, that's really unfortunate. Because I didn't know much about it, and then this morning everything fucking imploded.
Well, and the problem is it imploded in two facets, and that's because in pop culture community, what is the name? What is their name? The dude that owns the company or helped build the company that operates Screen Junkies, as well as Smosh and Smosh Games. There's an entire sexual harassment case going on over that as well.
Really?
Yep, these are two people that are just at the same time that are just being told. The difference is, though, when it comes to Weinstein, the Weinstein Company, is that
Weinstein's the owner and
he's not the owner. He's a co-founder. I mean, they're a publicly traded company now, and he had a stake in the company. It'll be interesting to see how this goes because his 52% controlling stake is going to go to his brother.
Oh.
Which it depends on how close his brother is.
Capitalizing on your brother's mistake.
I suppose. Either way, I mean, he wasn't able to give a good response in regards to the allegations, and more of them kept building up.
Get it? Miss steak? Like a stake in the company?
God, Jesus.
It's a pun.
Yep.
Yep.
Do you feel bad about yourself?
No. Not once.
Oh. I felt real bad about myself Saturday morning. So Saturday morning, I dropped the kid off, right, and I went to go over and hang out with Zach. And I was sitting in his apartment, and, talking and stuff like that. And as we were getting ready to go, I was putting my shoes on and looked over. I needed a pair of Chuck Taylors. And I didn't even know we had a pair of Chuck Taylors. And this pair of Chuck Taylors had the flash all over them. And I'm like, dude, when'd you get those? He's like, I had them a long time. I just never wear them. And I was like, I don't know. They're pretty flashy.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, and he just looked at me. He's like, you're disgusting. And I was like, I know. I need a shower.
It's confirmed that those shoes make you faster.
Is it? All right. Here's the meaty one that everyone cared about today.
2.
Ethics watchdog blasts Pence for use of government travel to Colts game. I'm just going to say just the Pence gate. Colts gate.
Submitted by Jay Kirsch to Our Politics. It's also submitted by Yam12 to Our Politics. And then a couple other things are submitted by Don BB to R Exist, which I think is fucking clever shit.
Resist, yeah.
This was also submitted by Insurgensic to Our Politics and by Tummy92 to Our Politics.
So what happened was Mike Pence was in Las Vegas. He, on Friday, took a government jet. He took Air Force 2 over to Indianapolis to watch the Colts play against the 49ers. Flew over there, went to the game, was at the game, and they had the national anthem. He saw somewhere around 20 of the 49ers players kneeling, and he said, I can't be here I cannot support a game in which, people are going to be kneeling and protesting the anthem. So he left and then proceeded to stay a night in the hotel and then flew to Los Angeles because he had stuff he had to do in Los Angeles the next day. Now, here's the thing here, is that, one, they've been talking about, you shouldn't be allowed to kneel during the national anthem, herbadur. Well, they're protesting, and they're protesting police brutality and racial injustice. That is literally what they are doing. And what that is called a protest. And what you did is called a protest. It's literally the same. You are
except, yours was kind of specifically a paid protest while these guys are, out there to play their game. They just happen to protest. Right.
And here's the reason that people are upset. They're not upset that he did this, okay? He is perfectly entitled to protest the NFL. He's perfectly entitled to walk out of an NFL game. The difference is that he's the vice president. And it's not saying that he's the vice president so he isn't allowed to do those things. The thing is that everything he does costs money. And with the operation cost of Air Force 2, his jet cost about $42,000 per hour to operate. Not to mention the increased security for the NFL stadium, the increased security for the hotel he stayed at. So the entire cost of this trip, from him leaving Las Vegas to Indianapolis, from Indianapolis to Las Vegas, cost the taxpayers around $250,000.
How much salt can you have in your body before you die?
Oh.
'Cause I'm getting super fucking salty.
I don't know. You could look it up.
Tim's in the chat. He'll probably tell us.
So, and people are calling him out on this, and a lot, even like ethics watchdogs are like, look, you had people pay for you to go to this. Like, it's okay for you to say on Twitter, I don't support this, but you just cost the taxpayers $250,000 so you could make a statement.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, go do that on your own dime. But you're making, not only are you doing this, that money could have been sent to Puerto Rico.
Right, and that's another thing people are bringing up when we talked about like Trump's travel costs and security costs for him going to his resorts and things like that, the number of cargo ships. This would have been a fully equipped and stocked cargo ship straight to Puerto Rico in terms of the comparative cost.
That's fucking, oh my god, absolutely fucking ridiculous that this is continuing.
Like, and
our goddamn government is run by literal toddlers.
Well, and if he had an event in Indianapolis, it's not a big deal. Like, there's a lot of ethics questions are dropped if, like, oh, well, I have to go to this function as part of my job while I'm in, Indianapolis. I'm going to be speaking as the vice president for X, Y, or Z. While I'm there, I'm going to catch the Colts game. Whatever.
Yeah.
This trip was specifically for him to go to the Colts game. No, he had no other reason to be there besides he wanted to go see the Colts play. Well, the Colts and the 49ers play. And so that's what makes it a feel bad, is the amount of money that was spent for him to have a personal trip that he then just went, never mind.
Do you think he did it on purpose?
That's a lot of the question that is being raised, especially because there is a kneeler in almost every single NFL game right now. Literally almost all of them. So, now there was a lot of 49ers kneeling.
How do you not? Like,
I don't know, and that's the thing, is people are like, you knew someone was going to be kneeling there. You knew, especially because the 49ers are playing. 49ers is who Colin Kaepernick was a quarterback for. And at this point, like I said, there's around 20 members of that team that kneel for every game.
Yeah.
You knew that they were going to be kneeling.
If you didn't, then you are one of the most ignorant people I have ever had the ungracious amount of time to talk about.
So people are asking, was this orchestrated for him to make a point? And if so, was that a $250,000 point that the taxpayers had to pay for? Good question. I don't know. But it is something that people are concerned about. And they have good right to be, because, while I can complain about, the average travel costs, whatever. It's one thing if it's something that you need to do. I feel like Trump's expenses are a little high, but I also understand wanting to go play golf on the weekend because I understand the president's job fucking sucks. So, on those levels, I'll level with you on some case. But in this, it's like, man, that's kind of messed up. Tim asked, would it have been more of a statement if he stayed, or is it more of a statement that he left? It's more of a statement that he left. Because if he would have stayed, I don't think we'd be talking about it at all.
It'd just be the vice president watching a football game.
I don't even think it would have been a blip that he went even saw the Colts game, unless there's some blog that follows the vice president's actions. I'm sure there's actually like dozens of them. But I don't think that there would have been any statement whatsoever had they stayed.
And sure, his statement made ripples, but the problem is that he was using
taxpayer dollars, and
money.
That's the problem. It's not the statement. It's not that he left.
Go ahead and perform your statement and leave at any amount of football games. We don't care.
Just don't make us pay for it.
Yeah, don't make us pay for it. That's pretty shitty. Just saying.
Yeah, and that's all. Is just that. Because, I mean, I'm sure that people would have made a point of bringing it up in terms of that the taxpayer paid $250,000 for the vice president to go watch a Colts game.
Mm-hmm.
Again, though, on that avenue, I'm like, well, they should get to go see football too. But with the way that everything has been going on lately, it just looks real sketch for him to show up to a game that he knew there was going to be kneelers at, to just leave, and then essentially just burn the $250,000 because he wanted to, make this statement. The schedule itinerary was not changed. Tim is asking in the chat room.
The itinerary is not the problem.
Tim says, could it be compared to going and watch a movie and then finding out you don't like it? It can be. Here's the difference, though, is that the amount of it would. Let me make a different comparison than just going to watch a movie, but in that same vein, it would be like, I want to see the performance at whatever the special damn theater is in Italy. There's that big one that everyone wants
the Louvre.
Sure, maybe
I don't actually know. If
isn't that in France?
That's in France, yeah, and I don't think that's a
theater. Either way, it would be like
it's the Bolshevik. So that's a Russian theater.
So instead of, just being like, I want to go see a movie, in which case it'd be like, oh, I'm in Vegas. Hey, Secret Service, can we make a movie theater safe enough for me to go see, I don't fucking know, Geostorm? No one's going to see that movie. Can you make a theater safe enough to go see Geostorm? They'd be like, yeah, sure, we can figure it out. We'll call a couple cops, get the building secured, and we'll go see Geostorm. That wouldn't have been a big deal. But if he wanted a special trip to go see the performance of, I don't know, Hamilton, at, you know, the big special theater in Italy, and that's the only thing he was going for. So they're like, all right, get everything together, we'll get all the crew together, we'll pay to fly him to Italy, him and the second lady, get them to Italy, okay, cool, and now we got to get all the security set up so that we can make sure the vice president is safe while he's in Italy to see this play. And he sits down, and he's there for about 4 minutes and goes, oh, never mind.
By the way, I remembered.
And then leaves. It's like he as an individual has the right to leave. However, he just burned through a ton of taxpayers' dollars to do that,
as well as daughters. And
well, I don't know about that one, but so that's where the difference comes in, and that's why people are upset, because it was a $250,000 very public political statement too. Because the other thing is if that he would have just left, it probably wouldn't have been a big deal. However, he put out on Twitter, I left today's Colts game because at POTUS, President of the United States, and I will not dignify any event that disrespects our soldiers, our flags, or our national anthem. So if he would have just left, it wouldn't have, I don't think we'd be talking about it either. But because he made a big deal about him leaving.
I don't know. I feel like if he had just left, we still would have been talking about it, but we would have only had like one subject on it and not.
It probably would have been
the entirety of this fucking podcast.
It probably would have been around an 8 or a 9 in terms of the 10-to-1 scale. Would have been maybe 1 or 2 stories. Mm-hmm. But because he made a statement regarding it, because he politicized him leaving on a public scale, is why people are upset.
It's not a case of manslaughter. This is pure murder.
I'm not sure about that one, but sure.
Premeditated, yo.
So now, the President of the United States, Donald Trump, did come out and say that he personally asked Mike Pence to leave the stadium if anyone knelt, and he is proud of Mike Pence and the second lady. At the same time, though, that's where we come.
Knew.
I was like, that's where we come back to someone's gonna be kneeling.
Like, that's just the thing that's happening right now.
So what this means is you intentionally went to this knowing that you were going to leave. And what's even better is that we knew that they were going to leave, because when the press came to talk to the vice president, they said, wait outside the stadium because there is most likely going to be an early departure. So they even told the press, we are going to be leaving early.
It's a fucking setup. It's a very... It's awful.
It's
because
rude.
Of all that money wasted.
It's rude is what it is.
It's petty.
So that's what everyone cared about.
Yeah, like this has been fucking everywhere. Okay, so I frequent pretty much BBC during the day because I don't really get to go on very much when it comes to computers, and when it came to my lunch breaks, I tend to sleep. And this was pretty much the only thing on BBC today.
Yeah.
So everyone was talking.
Trump quote, nobody could have done what I've done for Puerto Rico with so little appreciation.
This was submitted by Maxwell Hill to Our World News.
You hurt me. You hurt me. You are unbelievable sometimes.
This is so fucking cringe.
Like, ugh. Nobody feels sorry for you, dude, and no one's going to, because you have the ability to help other people that need help, and you're not doing it.
You've done very little. Very little. Meanwhile, all of these other fucking... Okay, so let me just debunk this right now, right?
Okay.
He says, nobody could have done what I've done for Puerto Rico with so little appreciation. There are plenty of celebrities who have done more for Puerto Rico before their names were released to do that than I can count on 2 hands.
Yeah.
Like, you can't even claim that because it's a fucking fallacy.
And he's only upset because people aren't hailing and praising him for the work he's done. It's like, it's not about you! None of this is about you!
I've done so much for Puerto Rico. I threw paper towels at them.
Well,
so
and the
that
other
they can
thing
go
is,
out and soak up all of the water that's in their houses, and then they can go live again, right?
well, and they keep on looking at the central area of San Juan, which is one of the least devastated areas. It's also the most modernized, so it is able to recover a little bit faster than the surrounding area. Outside of San Juan is still wrecked, and is going to be
destroyed. It's not even flat land because it's just tore up everywhere.
and it's just water anywhere else.
That's really why he was throwing paper towels. He's like, go clean that shit up.
Yeah. So, like, Trump, seriously, like,
Why? Literally, why do you have to be such a dick? There's zero reason for you to be such a goddamn piece of shit asshole.
all the time.
I really don't understand.
And you probably never will, Nathan. In any case, though, hey Nathan.
I'm Mr. Meeseeks! Look at me!
What'd you care about in the last 72 hours?
I got a video game. I got a new game.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sure.
It's an indie game, and it's called Cuphead.
Seen it.
It's super amounts of fun, and I've decided that it's going to be my first speedrun.
Nice. I will also recommend...
I've already been... What was it?
I said I will also recommend an indie game that didn't come out too long ago.
Yep.
And that is Pyre, that is made by Supergiant Games. Same people who made Bastion and Transistor. That game is incredible, and I recommend you play it immensely.
Bastion's a lot of fun. I haven't played Pyre yet, but Bastion was hours of fun.
Yep, I really recommend Pyre as well.
Yeah, I really recommend Cuphead because it's a Contra-style game with the art of Steamboat Willie.
Isn't it, like, hard as hell?
It's really fucking hard. However, if the person who holds the speedrun for it, if you're going by all bosses, then it's 28 minutes 57 seconds. If you're going by 100% complete, including the levels, because you can skip the levels and go straight to the bosses, then it's 1 hour and something. I forget how much.
Where are you at?
Well, I'm in the first area, and I've played maybe 2 hours of it, and I've beaten maybe two bosses in like 2 areas.
Sure.
So I'm really bad at the game, but what I plan to do is I first plan to beat the game, then go back and S every level, and then practice routes.
I wish you luck, sir.
Thank you. It's a lot of fun. Any game where I can sit there and as the main character snap my fingers and shoot things out of it, I think is fucking awesome.
That's fair. That's fair.
So, I don't know. I like finger guns, and that game is nothing but finger guns.
Oops. Okay. What did I care about in the last 72 hours? I talked about a good bit of it at the top of the show, which was, 4-year anniversary with that wonderful woman that just walked off screen. She's coming over here. She came over here. Yay!
I didn't see shit.
You didn't see shit. It's because there's the delay on the stream. What else did I care about in the last 72 hours? D&D last night was really good. Pyre's really fun. Playing a lot of Legend of Zelda, also great. Oh, hang on. I'll be right back. I gotta grab something.
Yeah. Well, now that it's just my time in the show, I will tell you that
because we don't have like all. When I used minis for D&D before, it was always my other DM in Oklahoma's minis. Mm-hmm. And so when I moved up here, every time we played D&D, it was always just Theater of Mind stuff because we didn't really have the stuff for minis. And minis are expensive. Like, they're really expensive.
And we had those apps that we can pull them up on the computers and everything.
Yeah. But in this case, we wanted to do physical stuff, but I still didn't want to pay for minis. So instead was, with those apps and things that we're talking about, like with, there's like map tools or like Battle Map on the iPad and stuff like that, you'd make tokens. And so I was like, okay, what can I make physical tokens? You sure can, and it's quite easy and quite cheap. You can get sticker paper, and the sticker, if I can get this to focus, there we go. The sticker paper comes in little 1-inch circles. Oh, it almost focused. And what you can do is then you can either take these felt pads or these little wooden nickels. I bought some of both to see which one I liked better. And then you just can make little tokens. And they're really nice and work quite well. I wish it would focus. Come on, work with me here, thingy-majig. Either way, so I'm pretty excited about actually getting these things to work, and I'm pretty excited.
That's awesome. It's actually pretty smart.
Yeah, and super cheap.
I did that, except I had bought the Pathfinder Bestiary box, so it came with a bunch of pop-outs for basic creatures, but it doesn't cover very much. Like, you still don't have basic animals like wolves and whatnot.
Sure.
So what we do is we'd take little strips of paper or like Post-it notes, and we'll draw the little character and the names, and we'll stick it in the little carriers that they came with, because you would put the little cardboard miniature in the little the tray thing, essentially.
Sure.
So I end up stealing more Post-it notes than really I should, but
You're fine. It's fine.
Whatever.
Trust me, you taking an extra Post-it note every now and then from work is not the reason the state is broke.
No, that's from just people.
Bad
People
business
are
practice.
shitty.
That's what that
Dude,
is.
The amount of claim of exemption forms I've had to give out these last 2 days is astronomical.
In any case, though, let's get out of here. Everybody, once again, I'm going to do a quick reminder for you that Wednesday, 2 days from now, is our 365th dose of the internet, or the 365th episode, whatever you want to call it, and we'll have a couple things on that day. So we'd be...
Oh, shit, there's a new Star Wars trailer, too. I totally spaced and forgot about that.
That's important.
Everyone watch it.
We would ask you to join us live on Facebook, 6 p.m. Alaska time. Otherwise, support us on Patreon, patreon.com/dailyinternet. If you can help out $1 a month, $5 a month, whatever you can manage. If you want to think of it as a birthday present, a Christmas present, however it works, if you get value from this show and would like to show us value back, please go to patreon.com/dailyinternet. In addition, you can find us on social media. Please like, follow, share, whatever it is on those. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. All of those are at iReaditCast. And then, of course, you can catch the audio versions of the show, whether it's on iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play. If you have a story that you would like us to be talking about, then please send it to us in an email, feedback.ireadit@gmail.com. Or, of course, if you got something you get off your chest, throw it in an email, throw it in a comment, or call and leave us a voicemail at 508-738-2278. You can find me on social media at Schwan Michael and Nathan at Bimmenstein. And that is it, everybody. This is your 363rd dose of the internet. I am Michael Schwan.
I'm Nathan Wood, and I would like to say Happy Indigenous Peoples Day.
Is that yeah?
Yeah, it's Columbus Day, and a lot of people are like, fuck Columbus, because he's a fucking murderer. So it's Indigenous Peoples Day.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, so happy Indigenous Peoples Day.
All right. Have a good day, everyone.
Bye.